Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
I'm William.
And we're back to talk to you about spooky things that spooked us out lately.
yeah, that's right. Actually, very recently we got some spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Because we did something that we don't typically do.
Yes.
And we're hoping that maybe it will become a regular feature on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm a member of a podcast group on Facebook where I can talk to other people that do podcasts, a lot of listeners as well.
Yeah.
And Kristen and I had a pretty cool idea. Let's ask people out there, both listeners and other podcasters, to write us some 2-second horror stories.
2-sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't take 2 seconds. It's 2-sentence horror stories. Yeah.
Pretty close.
You may be familiar with these. They're a million from throughout history, just short, abbreviated horror stories. I put out an example of one that I saw that I liked. As an example for other people in case they were not familiar with them.
Yeah.
So just to get you up to date, here's a good example of one. I can't move, breathe, speak, or hear, and it's so dark all the time. If I knew it would be this lonely, I would have been cremated instead.
Ooh,
right?
Chilling.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Absolutely terrifying. So I've got some names of podcasters here and the shows that they host.
Yeah.
And Kristen, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you go ahead and read the first one?
All right,
here.
cool. So this is the 2-sentence story. The gravel crunches loudly under a heavy foot. Funny, I thought for sure I killed him. And then there's another one by the same person, and I'll tell you what it is, who it is. The furious wind beating against the window kept me up all night, but I didn't mind. It masked their screams for help.
Oh.
And those were by Nicole from the podcast Unearthly Paranormal Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
We've also got, these were sent in by Megan. He flipped the circuit breakers back and forth uselessly. The power was definitely out. And yet the TV continued to spit static that sounded like voices. Annie huddled into a tight ball under the covers, eyes squeezed shut and small hands clenched as she whispered over and over, "There's no monster under the bed. There's no monster under the bed." "Well, yeah," a voice answered in agreement. "There's way more room in the closet." Oh. And finally, "There hasn't been anyone here by that name in 20 years, the old man said darkly before adding, "Because she moved 2 streets down."
Hey.
Boom! So those are from Megan from the podcast Oh No Lit Class.
Yeah.
This we have actually from a loyal listener of ours. She's been with us for quite some time.
Yep,
Sarah.
Yeah. As she washed away the shampoo from her hair, she realized somebody had shut the bathroom light.
Now, she posted that. I have said many times across all of our shows how afraid I get in the shower sometimes when my head and face are covered with shampoo.
Yeah, totally.
I read that story. It felt like a stab in my heart.
Sarah was specifically attacking you.
Yeah. How dare you, Sarah?
Totally.
No, the idea that you would have shampoo on your face, and so your eyes are closed, and then you open your eyes and it's still dark. Oh, I love and hate the idea.
It's no good.
Yeah, no good at all. And the last one for this week, hopefully we'll have more next week. This is from Christina. "My therapist said I should do something to conquer my fears. So I give each woman a new name. Snakes, spiders, guilt, dark, mother. I scream their name while I kill them. It seems to be working." Huh.
Not bad.
I guess that's...
we all have our coping techniques.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Literally murdering somebody that you call spiders.
Yeah.
I ain't afraid of no spiders anymore.
Me neither.
It worked.
No biggie.
You know what? For the hell of it, one last one. This one's also from an avid podcast listener, Tracy.
Cool.
"Lovingly, he watched her as she lay in his bed and brushed an errant hair from her face. Looking up from where he lay with his head on her delicate chest, her electric blue eyes gazed back at him from the jar on his nightstand."
I really like that one.
I like that one too. They feel, when they're this abbreviated, they feel like they're from like Tales of the Crypt or something.
Yeah, totally.
Can you hear the Crypt Keeper saying this?
I don't know what the Crypt Keeper sounds like off the top of my head.
All right, well, a Crypt Keeper-esque person. Their eyes gazed lovingly at him. "From a jar on the nightstand, dun dun dun."
Does the Crypt Keeper have kind of like a high, voice?
I think he kind of does. He's all goopy and melty.
He's gross.
He is
I
disgusting.
didn't really watch that show.
I recently did a ton of research on Tales from the Crypt for no other reason than I realized, like, I used to have a passing interest in the show when I used to see it on TV.
Yeah.
I know there was supposed to be a revival recently, and it's weird to me that they're not making it.
It's not happening? Oh.
No, there was a problem with the rights.
Yeah.
So I started doing some research, and it like started as old comics. And it seems like it's a totally dead thing. But such a cool idea. Love the idea.
It is a cool idea.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, now we on to the show proper.
That's right.
Kristen and I have each brought a topic to the table tonight to discuss, to share the stories of with each other, and they're sure to tantalize and terrorize.
Boy. Why don't you use that as a lead-in for yourself and go first?
Yeah? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Well, Kristen, I didn't have enough of a lead-in. Ready?
Oh, my God.
When a cold wind blows, it chills you.
Oh, my God.
Chills you to the bone.
Is this about cold wind and weather? Is that why we're not going to be scared of it?
Yeah. My topic for the evening, Jack Frost.
Weather. Oh.
The weatherman.
Oh, okay.
Jack Frost, Kristen.
Oh.
What do you think you know about Jack Frost?
I know Martin Short was Jack Frost in the Santa Claus 3, I think it was.
Yes, you would be correct.
Yep.
I think it's called the Escape Clause.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Santa Claus 2 is called the Mrs. Claus.
It's called the Escape Clause because if Santa, the only way Santa becomes un-Santa is if he holds his special snow globe and says, I don't want to be Santa anymore.
Is that what he has to say?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Jack Frost tricks him into doing it. He like...
How do you trick someone into saying that very specific phrase?
Well, see, he makes Santa have a really bad day. Like a really bad day, Will.
Okay.
And then he gives Santa something to hold. Santa doesn't know that it's his special snow globe. And Jack Frost is like letting Santa unburden himself to him because he made him think that he was his friend.
Oh.
And then he was like, would you say that you don't want to do this anymore? And Santa's like, yes, I would. I wish I was never Santa. And then like stuff happens.
Oh no, he recited the ancient incantation.
Yeah.
I wish I never had this stupid job.
Basically.
It is so.
Yeah. And so it is.
Is that everything you know about Jack Frost? Martin Short played him once?
You know, I know he's a chilly fellow.
Yeah.
I know he's pointy because of all the icicles.
Yeah.
And basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, Jack Frost is typically loosely considered, to simply be the personification of winter.
Yeah.
A lot of my research showed that he is responsible for turning summer into winter.
Oh.
He's been depicted as carrying a paint bucket and a brush, literally painting green leaves yellow, red, brown, orange to turn it into autumn and eventually the winter. You may be familiar with the Christmas song that says, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Yeah.
Did you know that song is literally called the Christmas song?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I found that out.
Interesting.
Written by Mel Torme, and it's just
The
called...
Velvet Fog.
Yeah, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire is just called The Christmas Song.
Huh. I never really thought about it before.
So generic.
Okay, yeah.
Very weird.
Or it's like Boss. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is the Christmas song. Nothing else is the Christmas song.
Premier Christmas song.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Torme.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Jack Frost is responsible for leaving frost on your window when it gets all wintry overnight.
Yeah.
Those sort of fern-like curls of ice on your
I love
window.
those. They're beautiful.
Well, Kristen, I have bad news for you.
Oh, are they like the blood of snow children that he spilled?
Well, Wikipedia reports that Jack Frost has become far less prevalent in the modern world due to the advance of double glazing.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's a type of insulation that keeps your windows from getting, too frosty, getting affected by the elements. Yeah,
that's a real blow.
Literally took me to a Wikipedia page for insulating your windows, so
that must have been scintillating reading.
It was a real blow to Jack Black. To Jack Frost's ego.
I mean, it could have been a blow to Jack Black as well. We don't know what he's into.
Yeah. I spent a lot of my time trying to research what is the actual origin of Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Why is he called that? What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Wikipedia itself does not have that much. Thankfully, I found schoolofdragons.com.
Ooh.
Where they try to explain why this sort of frosty air is given the name Jack.
Yeah.
And in previous episodes of this show, of Guide to the Unknown, we've talked about things like the Jack-o'-lantern and the Will-o'-the-Wisp.
Yeah.
Where it turns out that, honestly, we would typically just take phenomenon and give it a name. And Jack was a very common name to give to sort of like a mischievous person doing mischievous things.
It certainly is, William. It certainly is.
Interesting
Okay,
response.
go ahead. Yeah, we have a real weird Two Jacks episode today.
I've heard that.
Two Jack City.
I heard that. This is a quote from School of Dragons. Jack must have seemed a fitting name for the cheeky frost fellow that paints your window, but also shadows your jam jars.
Oh my God, that's so quaint. I love it.
The windows look so nice and frosty.
My jam jars.
Also, there's apricot spread all over the floor. Yeah. The first known written mention of Jack Frost is in a 1734 book called Roundabout Our Coal Fire.
Ooh.
Yeah. Where he's mentioned completely passively. It's not a story about Jack Frost.
Yeah.
In the book, the author is trying to describe Christmas time, and he describes it as when Jack Frost commonly takes us by the nose. So he's mentioned in a way that suggests everybody's familiar with him.
Just in passing, like everybody's got it.
Yes, everybody's all on the same page.
Yeah.
Jack Frost has existed for time immemorial.
Right.
He is the beginning and end of all.
He is the alpha and the omega.
He is. Now, this is crazy to me a little bit. The first ever illustration of Jack Frost, and I think for a lot of people out there, they might picture things like the Rankin and Bass version of Jack Frost. Where he's like,
love.
a little imp guy.
Yeah.
The first ever drawing of him is insane.
Okay.
On October 5th, 1861, Harper's Weekly posted a political cartoon, which prominently featured Jack Frost.
Okay.
It was during the Civil War.
Ah.
And soldiers were plagued with cholera.
Ooh.
Everyone hoped the disease would die in the cold of winter.
Oh.
Major General Benjamin F. Butler said in a speech, "Our faithful ally of the North, General Jack Frost, shall come and clear away the malaria of the South."
Cholera?
I guess.
Yeah.
The malaria of the South.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe that's
that
what they
means
call cholera.
Or
Yeah.
it's like this disease that is the South, the rebellion.
The cute nickname for cholera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
"And we shall march southward from this place, and there shall be no footsteps backward until this rebellion is crushed out of this union."
Wow.
The political cartoon depicts Jack Frost as a major general of the war, brandishing an icicle as if it were a sword, and riding on the back of a sharp demon ice horse.
Wow.
It looks like the horse, its mane, its tail, have frozen.
Yeah.
And so it's drawn with these jagged icicles.
Cool.
It looks like some sort of like hell froze over
Yeah.
ice steed.
Yeah.
What the devil would ride into battle.
You gotta know your audience. These guys like a forceful hand.
It's cool looking.
Yeah.
I'll put it up on the screen for the YouTube version.
Cool.
So now that's basically the background of Jack Frost. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of sort of like common mythology about him.
Yeah.
But there are different versions of him around the globe. Some of which are interesting. Some
Yeah.
of them I'm honestly just going to leave out.
Yeah.
In Russia, he's known as Grandfather Frost,
Okay.
which I like to think of that phrase. It's very folksy. In Germany, there is no Jack Frost. Instead, it is Mother Hull.
Oh.
Which translates to Old Mother Frost.
Okay.
And apparently in Germany to this day, it is a common phrase during the wintertime to say, Hulda must be making her bed. And what that means is that somewhere on a cloud up there, there is Grandmother Frost, Old Mother Frost, like flapping out her bed sheets and stuff.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and so the feathers, the equivalent of feathers are flying off the ends, and that becomes snow for us.
Okay, I thought it's basically the same, but I thought it was like wind.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was originally that she's making her bed as if she's like laying a fresh bed of snow.
Oh, those
You know?
all work very nicely.
I know, they do.
It's like God bowling.
Yes.
For thunder.
Or like God crying when it's raining or
God.
You made God upset. There's evidently an old Grimm's fairy tale about Old Mother Frost.
Yeah.
It's about there's a woman. She has a biological daughter, also a stepdaughter.
Okay.
She likes the biological daughter more. One day the stepdaughter is out using a spindle
Okay.
by a well.
Grimm's fairy tales love spindles.
I couldn't believe it when I read the word spindle.
Yeah.
I was like, how many stories
I know.
did the Grimm guys...
Spindles must have been like a really commonly used item of the day. I mean, how else are you going to make your clothes back then, I guess?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So the stepdaughter, the least loved, is worried that she's going to get in a ton of trouble for dropping this spindle down the well. So she jumps in after it.
Oh, God.
And finds herself in a meadow.
Yeah.
And very quickly she comes across an oven with loaves of bread in it. And the bread asks her to take them out before they burn. So she does. And she keeps walking and she sees a tree that begs her to harvest its apples. And she does. And then she comes across Old Mother Frost's cabin. And Old Mother Frost employs her. She asks her to help her do a few things around the house, including make the bed.
Yeah.
But be careful, because when you do stuff, the feathers are going to flap out. That becomes snow in your world, she says to the girl.
Oh, I like this.
The girl's very respectful. They have a fine afternoon. They make a bed. They sweep.
I'm sure she's starved for attention. Yeah. She's like, by all means, have me help you and say thank you to me.
Exactly. And you know what? Old Mother Frost was very kind. I bet they even had porridge.
Well, they probably had apples and bread.
You know what, Kristen? I bet you're right.
What a lame meal.
Yeah, some fresh apples and bread.
God.
Time for your apples and bread, dear. So anyway,
these apples will get that bread nice and wet.
Old Mother Frost then permits her to leave.
Yeah.
And for being such a good person, she showers the girl with gold.
Oh, so it's a little Cinderella-esque.
Gives her the spindle back. She goes on her merry way.
Yeah.
Happy life.
Great.
However, biological daughter is now jealous of what stepdaughter has been able to accomplish and deliberately jumps down the well. She doesn't help the bread get out of the oven. She doesn't harvest the apples.
Yeah.
When Old Mother Frost asks her for help, she offers, but she does a half-assed job. She's lazy. It's crap. Old Mother Frost fires her. And then as the girl is standing by a gate trying to leave...
Or does she freeze her?
Well, actually kind of the direct opposite. This is weird. I didn't really think about it that way. But as she's standing by a gate, quote, a kettle of pitch spilled over her. This is what you have earned.
That's another thing that Grimm's fairy tales really like.
Yeah.
Pitch. Yeah.
What is that? Like
it's
tar?
Like tar, yeah.
Yeah. So she gets burned from head to toe with pitch.
Yikes.
And Old Mother Frost, the names are swapped many times.
Okay.
Says, this is what you have earned.
Oh, does she flap her bed feathers at her so she's tarred and feathered?
I didn't think about that, but you're right. Yeah. But maybe tarred and feathered didn't come until after.
It wasn't in vogue until after, yeah.
And I find it very convenient that the phrasing is a kettle of pitch spilled on her.
Yeah.
Oh, it just happened to... I'm thinking...
It removes all ownership of the action.
Yeah.
The kettle spilled on her.
Call me crazy. I think it may have had something to do with Old Mother Frost.
I think Old Mother Frau did something with that pitch.
Yeah. So there's an alternate ending.
Okay.
The stepdaughter, having been good, finds that when she speaks, gold comes from her lips.
Ooh, that doesn't sound
Sounds
good.
kind of like a curse.
Yeah.
A little King Midas-y.
Yeah.
And then as a punishment, the biological daughter has a toad come from her lips every time she speaks.
Oh, like Ron and Harry Potter with the slugs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Eat slugs, Malfoy.
Yeah. Borp.
And then he is the one to eat the slugs. All right. And then in general, like old literature concepts of Jack Frost, where we probably get a lot of our understanding of who he is.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like a mischievous guy. He nips your ears, your nose, your toes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, which I guess just means makes them cold.
Make cold.
Make them a little cold.
Yeah.
And he really popped into pop culture when L. Frank Baum, who wrote Wizard of Oz, wrote a story called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, which was evidently some sort of Lord of the Rings-esque version of the Santa story.
Okay.
So Jack Frost was the son of the Frost King in that story. He takes pleasure in nipping scores of noses and ears and toes. But Santa, who likes Jack...
It's really quite creepy.
It's very frightening.
Nips your... It's almost weird to me that he doesn't
like... He's like reaching out and just grabbing your toes.
Well, it's almost weird to me that he's not so sinister that he like, I don't know, bites off your whole nose or devours your toes. He just gets the pleasure of nipping them.
I know.
Like, what kind of sicko are you?
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Santa likes Jack. He does see him as a bit of a, quote, jolly rogue. And asks him to spare the children, even though Santa kind of mistrusts him. Jack says he will, if he can resist the temptation.
Oh my God.
Yeah. In a later story by L. Frank Baum, Jack Frost, exact same character from the other story, has now the power to freeze shadows and separate them from their owners. imbuing them with a sense of life all their own.
Like Peter Pan's shadow.
Yes, exactly. It made me wonder if he was the Peter Pan guy, but I don't think he was. Okay, and then there are some very popular Jack Frost movies.
Well, obviously.
Yes, there is a horror movie called Jack Frost.
Oh my God, I forgot about that movie.
Used to see this on the shelf at Blockbuster all the time.
Or see it on RTV.
Really? Did you watch it?
Rosie and I watched it a bunch.
Really? I don't think I'd ever seen it.
Bad.
I'd seen it's pretty notorious. I know some stuff about it.
I think there's a scene. I think, maybe I'm wrong. I think he rapes Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. In
Yeah.
the Wikipedia, they describe it as he bashes her head against the wall until she dies.
I think she's in a shower.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not.
Yeah, everything else is like really like
Stupid.
Yeah, and then that part where we'd be like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's about serial killer Jack Frost.
Sure, go ahead.
He's responsible for 38 deaths, and he has finally been arrested by the sheriff of Snowmantown.
Snowmantown.
He's being driven to be executed at midnight, but Jack manages to kill the guards driving, which causes the vehicle to crash into a genetic research truck.
So good.
Jack is exposed to chemicals from inside the truck, which cause him to melt into and fuse with snow.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Then a bunch of crazy stuff happens. Eventually, a scientist explains that the human soul is a chemical, and that the acid Jack touched was intended to store human DNA in case of a nuclear holocaust.
Okay.
Nothing can hurt the snowman. Even when they melt him with hair dryers, he just condenses again. A kid put antifreeze into his dad's oatmeal to prevent his father from catching cold. Someone later throws this oatmeal at the snowman and it hurts him.
What happens to the dad? I don't remember that. Is the dad just like in a bathroom having diarrhea while all this craziness is happening around him in the house?
If he
like
ate
the dad just comes out at the end and he's like, "Boy, kids, that was a rough one," or whatever. And
what have you guys been up to?
They're like, oh, "Dad,
what did I miss while I was in John?" Thank God we have the Uncle John's reader, whatever it's called. Jack gets melted in a truck bed full of antifreeze, and then poured into containers which are buried deep underground in Snowmantown. But he's still alive.
I thought it was Snowmantown."
Snowmantown. It's not Snowman Town.
Okay, just now I thought you had said Snowman and I had misheard. Okay.
Snowmantown.
Snowmantown.
But he's still alive. Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Jack goes to a tropical resort and freezes it. Antifreeze can't hurt him anymore. Jack has a psychic link to the hero from the first movie.
Wow. They
find out the hero from the first movie is allergic to bananas. So
I saw this too.
They realize Jack probably is too. They make a bunch of banana smoothies and shoot Jack with an arrow with a banana on the end. He explodes, but he's still alive. But movie canceled. Jack Frost 3, The Last Coming, won't happen.
That's what Will's notes say. But he's still alive, but movie canceled. Yeah, Rosie and I definitely watched both of those.
Why did you watch those?
I don't know. We were in high school.
Did you feel a kinship with Jack Frost in the sequel when it turns out that his weakness is bananas?
I'm sure that I did. Maybe that's why we watched them. Maybe that's why I was drawn to the movies.
One of Kristen's weaknesses is the nanner.
They're disgusting. Ugh, I could talk about them forever.
What? You don't remember like putting a banana on the end of a stick, roasting it over a fireplace? Ugh. A fireplace, not even a fire pit. The living room, I guess.
God, what could be worse than like a warm... Anyway, go ahead.
What? Fresh steamed nanners?
Gagamundo.
In the same section on Wikipedia, as if they're part of the same franchise, Michael Keaton's Jack Frost.
Yeah.
That
movie's like devastating, right?
It's supposed to be a heartwarming family story, but it turns into like this nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton plays a man named Jack Frost.
Look, everybody probably has every name, kind of, right? I mean, not like every...
There are Jack Frost in real life, probably.
Of course there are. Yeah. Not like you would mash just two random words together and there's somebody who has that name. But as far as names, first name, common last name go, so they're going to get mixed up and somebody's going to be Jack Frost.
Yes, for sure. But also, if you're making a movie about Jack Frost, isn't it a little on the nose and kind of annoying? To have the person who turns into Jack Frost be named Jack Frost already?
Maybe that's why he turns into Jack Frost. Maybe he like inherited the mantle because of his name.
Maybe. Yeah, okay. Well, he's the lead singer of the Jack Frost band.
Hell yeah, he is.
He and his son make a snowman. He later gives his son his, quote, his best harmonica.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
There's a classic...
Like that's something Stephen King would do.
Yeah, you're right. There's a classic sort of like, but I'm going to miss my son's big hockey game moment. And Jack is trying to get home. But there's a storm. And he crashes and he dies.
Yeah.
1 year later, the kid makes a snowman and intentionally wants it to look a lot like his dad. That was
How
the point.
old is the kid?
I don't know. Then
I hope he's in the under 10 category.
Then he plays the harmonica, and his dad magically awakens inside the snowman.
Boy.
They have fun and throw snowballs at the bully Rory Buck, which is a great name.
Yes, I'm glad you included it. Rory Buck.
Rory Buck. There's a bunch of stuff about having to, like, the winter's ending, Jack's going to melt, which means he's going to die again. They have to... Rory Buck is now on the good side.
He's on the side of good.
He's on the right side of history, finally. And he helps get Jack Frost to a winter cabin. And then Jack Frost talks to his wife on the phone, and she's like, I recognize that voice, Jack. And she goes out to see him, and he appears as Michael Keaton for a minute. For no reason. And then he goes to the afterlife.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that he, like, lives in the winter cabin now and, like, his son can visit him whenever he wants.
That would be so much nicer, but no, he has to, like, go back to heaven.
Well, maybe he's just been in...
Horrible.
Well, no, I was wrong. I was going to say maybe he's just been in limbo and he needs to move on because his soul is fractured. And it's, like, not a real version of him. Like, when they say, like, if you're in a simulation, you're, like, not really quite the real version of yourself.
Or, like, how, like, Dumbledore is a painting.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not really me.
Right, exactly. You know? So maybe that's just kind of like a weird hologram of Michael Keaton that's not really doing the trick for either of them, for anybody in this scenario.
This is a much better rewrite for the reboot of Jack Frost.
I'll give him my notes,
Get to work. Do a pass. Then, of course, Santa Claus 3, the escape clause.
Sure.
My entire note section says Martin Short. Okay.
That's all you really need to know. I told you everything.
All right, and then this.
Yeah.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Okay.
There was a movie called The Rise of the Guardians. The Guardians, it's kind of like the Avengers.
Yeah.
But the Guardians are Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and the Sandman.
Who's in this?
They have a lot of famous people. Alec Baldwin, Chris Pine. Every single name was...
What?
Look it up.
From what year?
2012.
What? Was this a straight-to-video?
6 years ago. No.
That's insane.
Yeah. So they have to enlist Jack Frost to help them defeat Pitch Black, a.k.a. the Boogeyman.
Okay.
Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah.
Here's the actual plot description from Wikipedia.
Hey, I guess it's pretty good.
It's got a really great rating all over the place.
Oh, you know what? This is done in an animation style that I automatically reject for some reason. I whenever I see something, I'm like, nah, not for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's a fantasy adventure movie that's kind of like, it looks like a video game. Like a Pixar video game.
Yes, it absolutely does. Here's the actual plot description from Wikipedia.
Hugh Jackman's the Easter Bunny.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's star-studded.
Yeah, it is.
All right. This isn't the full plot, obviously. But this is, once I started reading this, I just started writing it down again. The Man in the Moon... Sorry. The Man in the Moon warns Nicholas St. North...
Oh, my God.
...that Pitch Black is threatening the children of the world with his nightmares.
Ooh.
He calls E. Aster Bunnymund...
Oh, my God.
Sandy... and Tooth to arms.
E. Aster Bunnymund is very funny.
E. Aster Bunnymund.
Bunnymund.
So that it kind of spells Easter, but I guess they don't want it. It's like all the annoying like rewrite stuff to make Santa cool.
Yeah.
Nicholas St. North. And he looks like a big Viking guy.
Wow. Is Santa like hot? Is he cartoon hot?
I don't know if I can answer this question. Yeah.
You can't appreciate a man's beauty?
Yeah, I can.
No, I was meaning like, do they make him? No, he's not. Okay.
No.
But he does have tattoos that say naughty and nice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's hardcore. He's X-core.
Okay.
A bunch of crazy stuff happens with teeth. Teeth are a big part of the plot.
Okay.
Evidently, baby teeth hold on to their memories. So they have to track down teeth from the children of the world or something, which is horrifying.
Well, they probably don't have that many memories then.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like 3 years of memories or whenever babies lose their teeth.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jack Frost is like the main character of this movie. He's the like Spider-Man teaming up with the other team, but he's still his own guy. Really.
Yeah, right.
However, I found the following, and it blew my mind.
Okay.
It changed everything.
Okay.
I found a petition.
Okay.
Called Have Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians appear in Frozen 2 as Elsa's love interest.
Wow. There's a ship community for like everything.
Oh, and this one's intense. It has 5,176 signatures as of this recording. They sent it to Disney CEO Bob Iger. Here is the text of the petition. Since Disney confirmed that Frozen 2 is now in the works, Disney stated that if Frozen 2 were to have a sequel, it would be about Elsa having a love interest. Millions of fans from around the world believe that Jack Frost from DreamWorks' animation Rise of the Guardians would be a perfect fit for Elsa. From beautiful artworks to empowering videos made of them, this fan-made couple has made us feel the chills in their love.
Chills in your love aren't really that good. Well, I guess they could be. Maybe it's exciting. I don't know. Go ahead.
Takes a turn.
Yeah.
DreamWorks, you're losing a lot of money.
Oh, shit.
We are talking $15.4 million for the second quarter in a row.
Wow.
Making the decision to close down PDI DreamWorks and 500 employees' jobs are gone. DreamWorks is leading onto the verge of bankruptcy. That's my childhood right there.
Oh, boy.
This would be the perfect opportunity to get yourself back in the green by teaming up with one of the most popular animated films with Disney's Frozen. Even though you two had a rivalry going back in the mid-2000s, but like Elsa always says, the past is in the past, let it go. You two beautifully animated companies can start a new future together going forward, and I know my childhood animators can.
Okay, he's talking about Pixar, like failing?
No, he's talking about DreamWorks failing.
DreamWorks failing. Okay, yeah.
Number one, there are many cute story
William,
plots.
how old is this? How long is this?
It's not that much longer.
Okay.
There are many cute story plots that can work very well with these two. Jack Frost could be watching Elsa her whole life. He might be the reason why Elsa got her powers, or they just both have met for the first time. The possibilities are endless.
It's true.
Number two. Both Jack and Elsa can learn off of each other. Jack is fun and self-centered, while Elsa is high class and reserved. Jack can teach Elsa to have fun and open up instead of shutting herself out of society, and Elsa can teach Jack to take matters into his own hands and learn to sing.
Oh my god.
Their personalities suit each other beautifully. All right, I want to pick.
I would say, how many more bullet points are there?
I'm going to pick one of the remaining three to read.
Okay.
All right, this will be the last one. Number three. They both deeply cared for their siblings. Elsa isolated herself from Anna to prevent from hurting anyone, and Jack fell into an icy river to save his sister. You can see the looks in their eyes. They felt scared for them.
What? Okay, so is this written by like a 14-year-old?
I did no research into that aspect of it. I just felt honored to have found it. All right. The very final thing that I have. I expected this to be a huge part of my research, and it turned out to not be.
Okay.
Jack Frost has no overt connection to getting frostbite.
Wow.
I thought for sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it kind of makes sense. I just never really thought about it before.
Yeah, I thought for sure frostbitten.
Yeah.
Jack Frost nipping at your toes.
You're totally right. That makes sense.
That's absolutely, I assumed. I started out expecting to find it, realized I didn't come across anything, and then started specifically trying to find stuff. Unfortunately, I guess there is a song called Frostbitten that a guy named Jack Frost sings. I don't know if it's the same from DreamWorks because Elsa hasn't taught him how to sing yet.
That's true.
So I don't know.
Probably not.
But, don't take me to task for that. But I did learn some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You get frostbitten literally if you're exposed to cold temperature and your skin or other tissues freeze.
Oh, God.
The most problematic thing is when those ice crystals melt.
Oh. That's so scary. That feels not good.
If you ever think that you might have frostbite, you have to go to the hospital to de-thaw, like thawing a chicken or something.
Oh my God, they put you in a giant microwave?
I always go to the hospital to defrost my chicken.
Yeah. It's just better to be safe.
Yeah. You can have first degree, second degree, third, fourth degree frostbite, which makes it feel like it's exactly the polar opposite of burning.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Fourth degree burns, fourth degree frostbite.
Yeah.
In fourth degree frostbite, this is a quote.
Yeah.
The skin becomes black and mummified.
Oh my God.
Parts of your body could be a mummy's body.
Wow.
Auto amputation can occur 2 months later.
Oh, that's horrible.
Every joke you've ever
body's a
seen,
freak
like
show.
in a cartoon, I feel like I've seen things of people being frostbitten and their toe cracks off. I don't know what cartoon, but I swear I've seen that somewhere.
I don't. But yeah, it kind of rings a bell.
Right? It's real.
Oh.
And then I read this. Most often affects the nose, ears, fingers, or toes.
Those are all the most tasty areas to Jack Frost.
Where have I heard about getting nipped on the ears or nose before? Huh. Maybe Jack Frost more involved than I thought.
With a smiley face at the winky face at the end is what Will wrote.
In my own private notes. Has nothing to do with Jack Frost, though. Jack Frost nipping at your nose, but nope, has nothing to do with frostbite. How crazy is that?
Yeah. I mean, I never thought about it before, but it would seem like they'd be like, oh, we actually call it that because of this old-timey connection.
You're getting bitten by Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I kind of wonder recently if low degree, because I still have my limbs. They didn't fall off weeks later. Like a very low degree of frostbite. No way. Now I think about it. It was not one of those extremities that Jack Frost loves. Yeah. But I was walking Crumbs one night when it was really cold, and I was an idiot, and I just kept walking for a while.
Yeah.
And when I came in, I partially came in because it felt like my legs were freezing. Like literally my thighs were like hurting and felt frozen. And when I came in, I took off my pants and everything. My thighs were like bright red, and they stayed that way for a long time.
Wow. Maybe you were close.
Just my thighs. It was weird. I don't know why.
Maybe you were getting there. Although maybe that's like what first degree frostbite is.
Maybe.
You know? It doesn't mean your legs fall off the second that you get.
Totally. But it was
frosty.
Weird. I never had that. It was like really bad.
That's crazy. I remember when we were kids, Kristen and I grew up in like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like our backyard was like 2 acres of forest. It took 20 minutes to get to a nearby store.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking about frostbite constantly.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's not on my radar hardcore.
It was when I was a kid. And then only like doing this research did I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember walking around in the woods and thinking about like, oh no, what if I fell down in the snow and I got like frozen or my toes turned black? Like, I don't think I understood what frostbite was.
Yeah.
But I knew about the idea of like your pinky turning black and eventually falling off. I used to think about that a lot as a kid. Creeping around in the woods like a freak.
We would have found you eventually if you fell in the woods.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I had to find my own venison out in the woods.
Did it make you tough? Huh? Did it make you strong?
No. I just want Elsa and Jack Frost to get together.
I actually
I wanted to be the 5,128th signature.
Did you sign it?
The petition's closed. It's too late. I bet Bob Iger shut it down. I want this petition closed now, brother. He's got to be tough, right?
I don't know who he is at all.
He's the CEO of
like I can't. Well, I know, but
ruthless.
I can't picture him.
Ruthless.
Yeah. I can think of Bob Eisenberg, who was like the former head of Disney, I think, or of something.
That would be a weird coincidence, really.
Bob
Iger and Bob Eisenberg.
I kind of think so. I remember we had this tape of like the Disney, like, I don't know, some anniversary, like some big number. And it was the Monkees were performing at Disneyland, and I watched it all the time. And like there was some sort of tribute to Bob Eisenberg or something.
Oh, Eisner. Something like that, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway,
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. That's Jack Frost.
All right. Now here's another Jack. Now I'm trying to toughen you up.
Quit hitting me.
All right.
I bruise easy.
Prepare to be scared.
Prepare.
Prepare.
P-E-R-P-A-R-E. Prepare.
All right. So I'm going to talk to you about Spring-Heeled Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you know anything about Spring-Heeled Jack?
I think I do. I think there may be like a rockabilly dancer who does... Maybe I'm just thinking that because it's like springs in the heels. There was one like episode of Jackass, or it's in the movie, where they come across a bunch of greasers, and one of them's dancing all hip and like twisting his heels, and like I guess it was supposed to look tough. I don't know, but that's what
doesn't sound particularly
I
tough.
associate with Spring Heel Jack.
Yeah,
does it have something to do with the devil?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, because I also think aren't there like
old Scratch?
Old Scratch,
yeah. Yeah. Kind of. It is kind of along those lines.
Okay.
Eventually, Spring-Heeled Jack became somewhat synonymous with the devil. Like in Punch and Judy shows, which are those weird puppet shows, at a certain point, they started just calling the devil character Spring-Heeled Jack.
And that was it. That's just the beginning of it.
What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? The beginning of Punch and Judy?
No, the beginning of Spring-Heeled Jack.
No,
that puppet.
No.
Spring-Heeled Jack. Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
there's a reason they do that. Okay, so Spring-Heeled Jack was stalking the streets of London in the Victorian times. So it started in like 1837. And there were a bunch of attacks that happened in London and suburbs of London. And the people who were attacked said that they were like attacked by a ghost, imp, or devil who was sometimes in the shape of a large white bull or a bear. Disparate descriptions for sure.
I guess either way, it's like a giant beast, though.
Well, the thing is, no, not really, because, well, maybe for that, but what Spring-Heeled Jack kind of looks like, I'll get into more later, is like a dandy guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There are reports later of him wearing like sheepskins to be creepy and freak people out. So I guess that's kind of where that vibe came from.
Heavy coat.
Is that the sound sheeps make? What do sheeps do? Ba ba. Yeah. Okay. Ba ba. Okay. So Spring-Heeled Jack's MO is that he's a bad guy. You're going to feel bad for laughing. Okay, you think this is funny, William? You're cracking up at this? He would ring the doorbell and slash women's clothes and their skin. You think that's funny? You're cracking up? That's cute. And then also people would be walking down the street.
Did he kill them?
No, he would just mess with them.
That's even...
I know. Again, it's like Jack Frost just taking a nip of a nose. Like, it's weird to not go all the way. Like, you're playing with your food before you eat it, you know?
It's just like Jack Frost. In a weird way, I know this is crazy to say.
Yeah.
In a weird way, that feels worse than murder.
Yeah. Well, it's strange to... It's like, well, what are you getting from this? Why aren't you doing it? It's creepy.
It's really creepy.
You know what it's
but it's also like, I'm going to do damage to you, and you're going to have to just live with this.
Yeah.
And like not know what happened. You have to live with the... Not only the injuries, but the horror and the shock and surprise of... opening the door and just suddenly being attacked and they're gone.
It's like one of the creepiest things on a certain level that a guy's ever done to me was that I was in Vegas one time, and this guy, like, guys are disgusting, or at least they were when I used to go years ago for hair conferences. Like, if you went to a club, it was just like a given that they're just gonna like scooch by you and like touch your butt or something. I was so creeped out one time because this guy walked by me and I was wearing a lace shirt, and he just felt the material of my shirt as he walked by. Nothing else. It was creepier to me, well, in a way, but it was weird that it wasn't the usual, like, I don't know, scooching past my butt. Just a feel of the material and gone. It was so weird.
Is that a technique to get you to be like, say, hold up, you?
Like he was negging me? No, I don't think so. I think it was just a crowded club and he was just scooching
like
by.
Gross personal whatever.
Yeah,
thing
I think I was just
doing.
I think I was with my friend Amanda, and I was just like, that guy just felt my material. I don't know what just happened.
It's
so
even weirder because it's from
yeah.
Seinfeld.
I know. So he would just do things like that. Like he didn't kill anybody. He just kind of messed with them. Some to varying degrees. Like the things he did to women were like very attacky, and as it was specific about ripping of clothes. So it seems like there's some sort of like sexual angle there. Yeah. But he would just jump out and scare people, or in one case, which I'll say later, slap their face. Okay. All right.
I shouldn't be laughing. It's still horrible.
I know.
It's just
funny.
such a downgrade from slashing somebody's skin and clothes.
I know. I mean, as usual, I picked out...
just running away. Slap.
Yeah. As usual, I picked out certain incidents over others that I found more interesting. And I picked the slap one because it's very weird. I'll go into it more.
Weird, yeah.
So this is going on around London and people are being freaked out about it. They know that somebody is kind of stalking the streets. And he has the name Spring-Heeled Jack because he would just jump really high to leave and just be bounding all over the place and jump onto buildings and stuff like that.
That sounds like The Mask.
It's free. Does The Mask jump high?
Yeah, he like bounces up in the hallway when his landlady is shooting him with a shotgun.
Who's your daddy? Wow, see ya? Yeah, you're right. He does. You're right, he does.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's your daddy? Wasia? Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the way that people would describe him was as kind of a gentlemanly devil figure, wearing he sounds like he looked in some iterations quite fabulous.
Okay.
He'd be wearing an all tight white outfit with a black cape, sometimes a heeled boot, sometimes a helmet, which I think throws off the look.
A helmet?
Yeah. I don't know. But he had fiery red eyes and he would breathe white and blue flames, which plays into his things that he does to people sometimes. So, but the attacks were very good.
But this is real.
No.
None of this was real?
I don't think. I'm not sure.
I thought you were saying the origins of like some fantastical creature started with this real guy who was really doing this.
No, something happened.
I was trying to figure out what the hell's going on with him jumping, and maybe that was like an exaggeration of him like leaping out of the way, or
Okay, I'll get into it.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I'll get into it a little bit. Something like these people were really attacked.
The attacks are somehow real.
Yes, the attacks are somehow real.
Okay, good. That's basically what I'm asking.
Yes.
So the rest of it is some form of embellishment from people either thinking they saw something else. Maybe people outright lying, right?
Yeah.
But, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Same page.
So attacks are real. They're reported in the newspapers and everything. That's legit. But, maybe him, like, bouncing and flying up into an abbey in London. It's a British thing.
Uptown Abbey.
Yeah. Is not real. Okay. So that's what he looks like. But the descriptions of attacks are kind of varied. So, like I said, that's his general description. But then some people are like, he has a helmet. He looks like a white bull. He looks like a bear or whatever. And so that leads to skepticism from the press who want to report about the stories, but they're like, what is the deal with this? Because there are some elements that are the same, but then just like really wildly different ones, and it's confusing. And then it leads the mayor to just guess for some reason at this, but like it could be that it's, I wrote, the mayor said it was probably a bunch of wealthy a-holes betting each other. So the mayor of London said that it was probably a bunch of like, rich gentlemen who are bored and have access to these like weird clothes and costumes and things like that, who are having a bit of fun and betting each other to scare these people in town. And so there are two cases that stand out the most from that time in England, in London, from like 1837 and a little bit after, because then there's sort of like a fallow period where nothing really happens, then some stuff happens again. So the two cases that are most widely known were reported. One of them is the Scales case, and it was this, there was a knock at the door, and so like everybody's talking about what's his name? Spring-heeled Jack. Like, it's like a thing in the newspapers. People are looking out for him. They know there are all these attacks and things like that. And this woman answers her door, and there's a police officer there who's like, ma'am, we think we caught Spring-heeled Jack out here, but I need a light, like a, lamp from like back in the day. Yeah. Can you come out here with this lamp and like give it to me or something like that? And she's like, oh, okay. So she goes out, and then the police officer like turns around in some way or like flings off his jacket, and he's wearing a cape. He's got the white outfit. He's got the fiery red eyes. And he starts blowing blue and white flames at her.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's one case. And then she and slashing her and stuff. He's attacking her.
Yeah.
And she said that he has metal claws.
What is going on? This is a famous case as in this attack happened?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. And the reason she got away from him, she ran back to her house, and then somebody came out from her house and it scared the person away because there was another person there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the other case was the Aesop case. And it was, again, a girl or maybe two girls who were walking home from their brother's house in London. And Spring-heeled Jack just jumped in front of them in the road and just started spitting his fire and having his fiery eyes and things like that.
Oh my God.
And it threw the girl into fits. So she started having like a seizure or something. And the guy ran away, bounded away. What
was going on? Was there like LSD in the water supply? Or?
I mean,
that's crazy.
Poppies and opium were a thing.
Yeah.
At that time.
He sounds like a Victorian Batman villain.
Funny you should say that.
Okay.
Okay.
Everything is interrelated in a very weird way.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, totally. So that all that stuff is happening. And so the question is, who is doing this?
Who was phone?
What's going on? But who is phone? Oh, you know what? I have a couple more stories to say before I get to who is phone.
Okay.
Let me just look at my... Okay, so nothing really happens for a while. It starts to kind of fade, but it's become this mythology. He's like the boogeyman now. So there are tons of Penny Dreadfuls, which are like short comic books that are of like scary things that have to do with Spring-Heeled Jack. He's become like a mythical figure, even though he started from real, quote unquote, like beginnings or whatever, and people believing that he was... So people believed that he was supernatural in some way. There's speculation about him either being like a demon of some sort, devil in some form, extraterrestrial. So yeah, he becomes like this big character. And like I said, he's in these Punch and Judy plays,
which only makes things worse because now you're really not going to find out who he is.
Yeah,
you know, like once it's elevated beyond the realm of like humanity, once he becomes a character, it's over.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, because like, what can you do about that? You can't fight that. The cops can't really arrest that.
Yeah.
You know. So he's quiet for a while, and then not in London, in Peckham. I'm not sure. England. You know, further away from London. This is. Oh, no, not quite yet. Okay. So weird things were happening in Peckham, which I want to look up. There was something called the Peckham Ghost. Ooh. And then in Sheffield, there was something called the Park Ghost. And they were like, oh my God, this is the return of Spring-Heeled Jack.
Oh.
That was in the 1870s. So it had been like 30 years-ish since like
So he could still be alive.
Like,
But they're thinking maybe he's a ghost now.
I don't even know if they think he's a ghost now. I think that it's just kind of like mischievous things. And so they think he's a thing in human form or whatever, but also it'll be like, oh, there was a figure. It's Spring-Heeled Jack. Like he's become like all things.
Now he is mythical.
Yes, he could be anything. He could be a weird shape that you saw. Like he could be anything, anywhere. So that's kind of a resurgence of thinking that like Spring-Heeled Jack is like back in the mix in England. And then in 1877, there was a soldier in a barracks in Aldershot, and he said that a peculiar figure advanced toward him and delivered several slaps to the face.
Now, listen, I would hate that.
I would hate it, too. Can you imagine how annoying?
Just like walking about.
Yeah.
Then, but what the hell?
Well, here's something crazy.
What's wrong with him?
Another guard saw this go down. And so the guard shot it.
There. No, stop that.
The guard shot at him, but it made no difference. And he disappeared into the darkness with astounding bounds. So this guy slapped somebody and then bounced away. And a guard shot at him. Now, there is some speculation that the guard who was shooting may have misfired or was shooting blanks. I don't know why blanks are a thing.
Blanks would still hurt. And I don't know why they would have them in like a police.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why it would be in the army barracks.
Why? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand. There's like a lot of things that I don't understand, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But like, do you have any theories as to how he was able to jump, why he had red eyes, why he breathed fire?
I think it was probably people's imaginations getting away from them.
Exclusively?
I mean, the bouncing and jumping away, I do think. I think maybe it was somebody who perhaps is a good jumper. Maybe people can jump well, but maybe they were doing something weird with flame and fire. Like maybe, like, you know, let's say there is like a rich boys club where they're just like doing this for fun. I guess one of them could be like a fire breather where they like had some gasoline in their mouth and they like, you know, light an old timey lighter and shoot it out.
Yeah. It feels very The Purge. And my first thought was really like Eric Trump.
Like, it does seem like something that a bunch of like rich doofuses would do. Yeah, that's what I agree with the mayor's theory, basically. I do think it's like a group of guys who like decided to...
They put us in the paper again.
Yeah, kind of. Like dumb frat guys, basically, of London Victorian times.
Yeah, because there's... To slash someone, to honestly cut them is really like...
I know.
It elevates... It's funny. What was this? There was something that I wrote about a long, long time ago about somebody who was trying to seem tough and then they kill someone. Oh, it's dumb. I remember what it is.
What is it?
I think maybe I wrote about Kylo Ren from Star Wars.
Okay.
His whole thing, if you haven't seen the movies, I mean, spoilers for The Force Awakens, it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
His whole thing is being like, I'm tough, I'm scary.
Yeah.
I know about Darth Vader, he was scary. I can be like him. I can be tough, I can be scary. And then he kills his own father and then seems really upset about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, oh, he's like... It's like pathetic. He's like he's like a wannabe. He's like a fanboy, and you know, like he killed his father, and like he's just like a groveling child.
Yeah,
whatever. But my thing is like, even if you're trying to seem like you're tough, whatever, making a joke of it, when you finally take that further step, even if you regret it,
right.
Congratulations, you've become the thing you wanted to be. You're now a monster.
You're a tough boy.
You're tough. Yeah. Now you're a killer. And I feel like that happens a lot. Like you hear about like gang stories, or like I guess mostly I've seen it in movies, where it's like a kid that hangs out with a gang and people warn him like, don't be in that gang, they're dangerous, whatever. And then he ends up accidentally killing someone and being like, I never should have done this.
Right.
Too late.
You did it.
Now you're in it. Now you've killed somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of that where like these gentlemen Jack, spring-heeled Jack boys, even if they're like 18, 19-year-olds and they think it's fun and they have this little frat of people that all pretend to be the same character running around and be like, we're just causing mischief, it's just fun.
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, but you're not.
You're
like,
hurting
the
people.
thing you're doing makes you monstrous.
Yeah, completely.
I wonder also if there are a bunch of them. Maybe there's like, maybe Gary goes out there and slaps people in the face. But Douglas.
Well, that's what I was.
Douglas brings the knife.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe, you know, to most of them or some of them, they're like, oh, yeah, it's a fun, weird thing they do or that we do. And Douglas is like, oh, I like this.
Right.
This feels good. I like that I'm in a disguise and people are scared of me. And then it like takes it too far.
Yeah. Even just one of them.
Yeah, completely. Or other side of that.
And people are like, Douglas, were you Spring Hill Jack last night? He's
yeah.
Why? What makes you think I was?
Yeah.
Like somebody was attacked on the outskirts
like
of the
seriously
street.
attacked.
It's like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. No, I wasn't Spring Hill Jack last night.
Yeah, and they're all like...
They kind of don't believe it, but they can't dig further because they're all in too deep.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Or there's one guy who's like sad and he wants to prove what a tough guy he is to all the other guys. And he goes too far with it and does that and then regrets it horribly.
And they're all like, oh my God.
You're like, oh my God. Okay, like if you want us to like you, there were better ways to do it.
Yeah. Or one of the guys tries to show how tough he is and he goes out and he slaps someone in the face.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not tough, Gary. He's
that's
like,
not really enough, Tristan.
But I batted him about the face.
Yeah. And he was an army man, which seems like it should count for more.
Yes. I flapped him in his northern cheeks.
Yeah. Maybe there was like a point system.
Yeah.
You know, all messed up. So the other events from around that time were in 1977. I wrote, appeared in a sheepskin, bounced away. And he was spotted on a rooftop in 1988, which seems really awesome. Like cool. To look up and see a figure of like a weird, like devilish man in a skin tight white outfit with heeled boots and a cape flapping behind him, like David Bowie.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Can you imagine that person then turning and looking directly at you?
God.
And then no matter what, you'd feel like I'm in trouble. Even if somehow you're like 50 stories down from him, you're like, oh, he's already got me.
Yeah, he's got me in his sights.
Yeah, it's over.
I'm in the crosshairs of Spring Hill Jack. This isn't good.
I may as well just throw myself in the gutter. It's over.
So, suspects. The couple suspects that came up. There was a guy named Thomas Milbank who bragged about being Spring Hill Jack in a bar or something. Yeah. It seems like they tried him just based on that. I didn't totally understand this, but maybe in Old England or something. And the way that they...
No matter what, you'd question him.
No, but there was a trial, it said.
Oh.
And the way that he was exonerated was that... So I think he said that he was the one in the Scales case where she was like slashed and everything. Or maybe the Aesop case. Huh. I don't know, whatever. In one of the cases, it was a case where they breathed fire. And the girl was like, no, absolutely, the thing breathed fire. And he was like, I can't breathe fire. And they're like, so it's not this guy.
Damn it, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, so weird. And then this is a suspect just from like...
It's weird.
I know. Just from like weird reputation. There's no real evidence except for just kind of one little circumstantial thing. The Irish Marquis of Waterford was, I wrote, a rich asshole in the area of the time of the Scales and Aesop incidents. So he was known to be like mistreatful... I don't know. That's not a word. He was known to mistreat women.
Okay.
He seems like he was a jerk, and it would be the kind of thing that he might do.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And that he was in the area, and he didn't live there. You know what I mean? He happened to be traveling to that area of London at the time, or that area of England. But
yeah,
he died in like 1855 or something like that. And so then it wouldn't have been him for the 1870s ones. Right. But if he was part of a troupe of like rich losers, like then maybe his rich loser friends carried on his mantle and they're like, guys, we're going to do this for the marquee.
Yeah.
You know?
This one's for the marquee boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's also possible, though, that they didn't all know each other. That, somebody was like, you know what? I could go out and cause some mischief. Attack some people that have recently wronged me.
There are definitely copycats involved who would, it said that too, that there were probably people who just kind of like went for it based on, other attacks and they thought that was cool or something like that.
What a weird thing.
I know. It's just kind of like mass hysteria in a way, in a smaller way. I don't know if you call it mass hysteria, but like a bunch of people being like, ooh, the power contained in that.
It's so much more sinister than hysteria.
To be Spring-Heeled Jack. Yeah.
Like I think of hysteria as being like, these people are not responsible for their doings. They're almost like a mob mentality. They're just somehow in it.
Yeah.
But this feels more like somebody being like, well, every week the paper comes out and I see there was another attack by Spring-Heeled Jack.
Yeah.
I could finally attack Melissa.
Well, they're not all attacks. Sometimes Spring-Heeled Jack would just like jump in the lane and be like, boogie boogie or whatever, but with like... So...
Love it.
Yeah. So they weren't all horrible attacks. I mean,
what this sounds like?
Not cool, but...
I was just thinking, there's nothing in the modern day that's comparable. That's not true.
What?
A couple years ago,
the clowns
started appearing all over the place.
Yeah.
And still no one's really sure who's to, credit or blame with doing it. But there were probably a bunch of people that did it that had no association with each other at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was just like some weird like internet thing where maybe some people met up and planned some things and just kind of spread from there.
Yeah.
I would have died. Even clown fear aside, that is so freaky. And like I lived in front of woods at the time.
Yeah.
And so I would be, when I was walking Crumbs, I would imagine to myself somebody just standing in a clown outfit, like in the middle of the path. I would just die.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No. Okay, so here are some quick pop culture references to Spring-Heeled Jack. The Batman thing that I was talking about, there was, it was a comic in the UK. So not Batman, but, where Spring-Heeled Jack was a vigilante superhero alter ego of a cop.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That's weird.
And I had misread when I was reading the thing on, I don't know if I read that on Wikipedia, but somebody's name, I think was weirdly, their name was like DC Cummings. So I thought that it meant DC Comics at first. And I was like, oh, Batman. And I was like, oh, no, that's not right.
That's weird.
I know.
It's weird, too, because it seems like Spring-Heeled Jack was never anything other than a nuisance.
Yeah, completely.
To then be like, you know what? He was a bit of a vigilante.
I honestly, I'm not kidding. I think it's the look. I think because he had such a distinctive, kind of cool, weird look. They kind of spun it off into other things where it can be like useful and you can see this cool, creepy devil character.
I get it.
You know what he reminds me of? The scary guy in the Candyland who's in like the Gookieville or whatever. Like Licorice Forest or something.
Gookieville. I can't picture that at all.
He was scary. I was scared of him. Yeah.
I don't know.
There was an episode of I mean, this sounds really sweet. I don't know if it was an episode or this could have been like maybe a storyline for a season or for whatever. On that show Luther, which I've always wanted to see, there was a killer who wears a punch mask and he wants to terrorize London like Spring-Heeled Jack did.
That's cool.
That sounds great.
That sounds awesome.
And the last two, some video game quick hits for you, little sugar. In Elder Scrolls 4, which I bought for my friend Evan as a tip for him tattooing me once, because he didn't like to. He would try to not accept cash, and then I'd be like, "Well, I'll give you a present. You're not going to say no to a present." And I found out from his other friend they wanted Elder Scrolls 4. Anyway, do you remember that a guy at GameStop really shamed me because I asked about it, and he was like, "Oh, well, actually, there's Elder Scrolls 6. I don't know why you're trying to get that." And I was like, "I don't know, man.
The far superior version of the one they're requesting."
I wish I remembered it. It was like really specific and mean. Where I was like, "I'm being nice to this guy. Why is he being so mean to me?"
Yeah.
But in that video game, you can acquire boots of Spring-Heeled Jack to jump high.
Huh. That's funny.
And then this sounds totally sweet, and this is not what I thought Assassin's Creed was like at all.
Yeah.
In Assassin's Creed, Charles Dickens assigns you to investigate the true nature of Spring-Heeled Jack. What is the game Assassin's Creed like?
That's so crazy sounding.
I feel like I was just seeing a picture of like a soldier with like ash all over him looking upset or something in Assassin's Creed. Like, where's Charles Dickens fit in?
Assassin's Creed is bug nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess whatever game that is, they must send you to Victorian England. Basically, it centers around, my understanding, and I've never played any of these games, is that there's a character in modern day times who steps into something called the Animus.
Okay.
Which projects his consciousness backward through his ancestry.
Okay.
into the mind of one of his ancestors who was an assassin.
Okay.
So he must have had an ancestor who was an assassin in Victorian London.
Okay.
They're all very, very, very heavily based on history.
Yeah.
But also they like completely manipulate historical stories for their own purposes.
Yeah, sure.
So you assassinate real people in real life.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Well, yeah.
Real historical figures.
Right.
But like Leonardo da Vinci, because he had the Vitruvian Man and he had designs for a flying machine and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
In whatever game he's in, he's an inventor. So I guess in the Victorian one, I guess you meet Charles Dickens.
Apparently.
But it's insane to me to say that, like, I think it has something to do with the Templar, the Knights of the Templar. It's crazy to me to be like, Charles Dickens tasks you with finding out the true origin of Spring Hill Jack.
Yeah.
Sounds like it may as well just be
the
like
the true nature of Spring Hill Jack is what it said. So it was like what his motive was, and like was this a good guy or a bad guy?
Well, I guess was he breathing fire? Was he supernatural?
Yeah.
But, like,
oh yeah, was he supernatural? You're right. Yeah.
It is like just being like Mark Twain wants you to figure out where Bigfoot lives.
Yeah.
All right, that's just as viable a mission, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
And then in like 100 years,
I don't know. At least Charles Dickens like lived in London.
What a weird thing. In like 100 years, are we going to have video games where Stephen Hawking tells you to go find Slender Man? You know what I mean? Like,
again, I think
Neil deGrasse Tyson wants you to track down. I don't know what's another modern, The Bye Bye Man. Neil deGrasse.
What's The Bye Bye Man?
Terrible movie that came out last year.
I don't know that.
That's horrible.
Again, I think that it's partially the look. I think that because Victorian people and Mark Twain look cool.
Yeah, but in 100 years, maybe we're all going to look cool.
Oh my God, you're right. That's so weird.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So maybe. Boy. I can't wait to see it since I'm going to upload my consciousness to something so that
don't worry.
A light piece of me lives forever.
Yeah.
I'll know.
All of our seasoned Talk Bomb listeners know that we've been uploading our consciousness to the internet every week through these shows.
Years.
Yeah, WB 2045.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Cool. So that's it, guys.
Wow. Spring Hill Jack. Always familiar with the name, never knew what he was.
Same. I definitely thought there was more of a devil connection. Once I started looking into it, I was like, whoa.
I guess he's devilish.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Maybe he's like throwing embers, hot embers?
I know. The fire part really throws me off. I'm not sure. I really do think he could be somebody who's a skilled jumper.
Yeah. How do you make your eyes look red?
Well, I think that could be like in Mania and Terror.
Okay.
Like maybe, I picture just from TV shows and things like that. I don't know, old London with like lamplight and everything. Maybe it's like glinting off your eyes in a certain way or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe some sort of light from the fire you're breathing sort of casts a red glow.
True.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we'll never know.
No.
How many different like secret societies, serial killers have done a really good job covering their tracks, and we will just never know.
I know. It's freaky.
We'll never know who the Zodiac was. Even if someone comes forward now being like, I'm the Zodiac.
It was
or like, my grandfather was, and he told me, and here's all this like really reliable evidence. Modern mentality will always have that voice in the back of your head going like, but maybe it's not really.
I think generally, but I do think there are probably things that the police have kept from the general public that if somebody was like, it was me, and gave some sort of like detail that really hasn't been out, they'd be like, oh my God, that is the Zodiac then,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But,
how cool would it be if somebody knocks down a house one day, building in London or something, and they find a little secret wall that has a notebook of all the names of the people who were Spring-Heeled Jack. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, totally.
I guess never say never.
No, you never know.
Yeah.
Weird things happen all the time.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
That brings us to the end of another shocking guide to the unknown. Mm-hmm. If you enjoyed this show, go forth and spread our message.
Yes, please.
This show comes out every Friday on every major podcast app and YouTube if you would like to watch along.
Yeah.
You can find everything you need at talkbomb.com/GTTUpod.
Yep.
Like, how about our social media handle at GTTUpod? Mm-hmm. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We've been doing a recent thing in the past couple of weeks where we broadcast our recording process live on our Facebook page.
Yep.
It's been going pretty well. We might keep doing it in the future. So make sure you like the Facebook page to stay up to date with when we're going to do it. And you may be able to watch live and jump in the chat and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
You can also check out our PayPal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Download the Patreon
I think I do
app.
want to set up like PayPal and Venmo, so if you just want to be like flick a quick coin at us,
Yeah.
it's easy.
Okay, that's true.
I remember saying that a long time ago.
We do have one on talkbomb.com already.
Yeah.
Just put in the notes what you want it to be for, and I can route it to the right place.
Yeah, but it'd be easier to just have like a Guide to the Unknown one.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it be?
I just don't want to set it up.
I'll set it up. It's a big deal. Okay.
Love to hear that.
Yeah.
Go to patreon.com/GTTUpod where you can set up a monthly recurring donation to us, to helping this show work, to coming out on time, to, well, just thanking us for what we do. It's like a tip jar.
Yeah, totally.
You get the idea. You can check every previous episode on YouTube, youtube.com/talkbomb, or just look up Talkbomb in the YouTube app. Subscribe, like, share. Really spreading the word is the most important thing that you can do for us.
Yeah.
You can also talk to us individually because we're people. We have feelings. We like to talk.
That's right.
Kristen?
I'm at Chillin' Kristen on Instagram and Twitter.
I am at Haunted Sponge.
And we have a private Facebook group that you can join if you search Guide to the Unknown podcast on Facebook.
Yes, changes coming soon. Thank you, Ryan. Everyone else, you will understand in the coming weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think that's going to make it too hard to find. I don't want to actually change the name.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think it'll be confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week for another terrifying episode of Guide to the Unknown.
That's right.
But until then, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld. Jump we. There we go. Watch us bounce. Are you ready for it?
Spring Hill Jack Frost.
Yeah. Ooh.
Combine their powers.
Yeah. Ooh.
Breathes fire and cold.
Yeah.
My God.
The ultimate. Truly the alpha and the omega.
Truly the ultimate of ultimates.
Yeah.
All right, good night.
All right, bye.
All right. Test recording. There you go.
Chickadee check.
Kristen, do a quick episode of The Kristen Show.
Oh, well, hi, it's me, Kristen, and today I don't look so good. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I didn't do my makeup today, and I usually make sure I do my makeup for show days. So, really, diary, the update is that things aren't looking too swell.
All right, episode over.
Ugh.